Oi, listen up. This ain't no fairy tale about swashbuckling heroes and buried treasure. This is the raw, unfiltered truth about being a pirate in Star Citizen. It's a dog-eat-dog verse out there, and even your own mates can end up in your crosshairs if the credits are right. Let me tell you about a time I learned that lesson the hard way. See, I was in deep with the wrong crowd at Grimhex. Owed them a ton of credits, and they weren't exactly the patient type. Kind of dudes that will space you without a second thought if you don't pay up. So there I was, scrambling to find a way to square my debt before I ended up just as another floater in the black. Spent days scouring the belt, eyes peeled for any ship that looked like it might be carrying something valuable. But the verse was being stingy. Every mark I spotted was either too armed or too poor to bother with. Time was running out, and I was starting to think I'd have to do something drastic. And just when I was about to throw in the towel and face the music, I caught a break. There in the shadow of a large asteroid was a ship I recognised. Belonged to an old friend of mine, Chewie. We used to run together back in the day, before things went sideways. Looked like he was in the middle of his own score, relieving some poor saps of their cargo. Gasping weevil eggs, I was hoping. Nasty, degenerate stuff. But it fetches a pretty penny on the black market. Now, I ain't proud of what I did next, but desperation makes monsters of us all. I figured if I could get the drop on Chewie and his crew, I could take the mix for myself and finally get Hex off my back. It was a shitty thing to do to an old friend, but in this line of work, loyalty's a luxury few can afford. So, first things first, I needed to set the stage. The Carrack was now a wreck, but it was close enough to Chewie's Polaris that I had to use it as a staging ground. Problem was, I had to get there without being seen. That meant a long EVA. 5 clicks through open space with nothing but my suit and my nerves to keep me company. Now let me tell you, spacewalking ain't for the faint of heart. Every second feels like an eternity when you're floating through the void, praying your suit don't spring a leak or your thrusters don't give out. 5 kilometers or a bit more than 3 miles for the old-fashioned might not sound like much planetside, but out here, it's a lifetime. My suit's HUD kept flashing up warnings. Oxygen levels, suit integrity, hydration, you name it. And all the while I had to keep an eye on Chewie's ship, make sure they didn't spot me making my way over. By the time I reached the Carrack, I was sweating bullets. The ship was a mess, the hull was torn to bits, debris floating everywhere. Perfect place to set a trap. I found a spot near the cargo hold behind one of the legs where I could hide and wait for Chewie and his crew to come back with the goods. I had to check it was actually holding the goods he would want to come back for. But lucky me, and just as I'd hoped, a big box had a nasty weaver legs. But getting aboard that Polaris was going to be the tricky bit. I saw him finish off the other crews. It didn't look like there were any survivors. I mean, cold, but that's the game. Once they were finished picking the other ships clean, they made their way towards me to move these eggs over to their ship. So then I made my move. I timed it just right, slipping out of my hiding spot and boosting over to the Polaris while they were busy loading up. The side door was open and I managed to sneak inside without being seen. Heart was pounding like a jackhammer, but I kept my cool. First I went for the elevator, but it wouldn't come when called. So I made my way back through the ship, sticking to the shadows and avoiding the crew's eyes as they stacked up their eggs. I was going to take the cargo elevator up to the hangar, but decided the ladder would be quieter and more out of sight. When I finally reached the bridge, it was empty. Everyone was down in the cargo bay securing the hall. Perfect. I couldn't decide on a spot initially, so I settled on sitting behind a pillar where I could stay out of sight and wait for them to finish up. The minutes felt like hours as I crouched there, listening to the sounds of the ship, the hum of the engines, the clang of the crates being locked down. Every so often I'd hear voices, laughter even. They were so happy with themselves, but they had no idea what was coming. I kept thinking about Chewie. We had history, good times and bad. Part of me wanted just to walk out there, say hello, maybe cut a deal. But I knew there weren't an option. Not with Hex breathing down my neck. It was him or me, and I'd be shitting if it was gonna be me. So if you're thinking about taking up the Jolly Roger, remember this. Out here there ain't no friends, only temporary allies. And when the chips are down, it's every man for himself. I betrayed Chewie that day, and yeah, I got the eggs and I bought myself some time with Grim Hex. I made an enemy for life, and I know he'll come for me one day. That's the pirate's life in a verse. Every choice has a price. And sometimes it's steeper than you can imagine. Doggy dog indeed.
I'm a paper route till I'm 6 down on my back. I'm an old soul like my dad. My old girl still a fan. Yo girl at the live show, so don't act like I ain't the man. I'm kicking my feet up, get frank like Aretha. I'm calm, but I'm teed up, just flip me a stack. The re-up just doubled up off of the muscle, I stuck to the task. They see me, I'm troubled, I'm bubbling up till it's stuck, and they want me to stay where I'm at. I'm good everywhere that I'm stepping, my presence is crucial. You know that this shit not no trend. On a big wave, I'm controlling the tide. Snake eyes when you rolling the dice. So with the stakes inside, I could never take another nigga advice. They can't reach the sky, I'm aiming up high. I just wanna know what it's like. Y'all know what it's like, I come from outside of this.